Welcome back to the channel. Today I bring another of the tracking something game. This time is the, I believe, the original one, tracking the national parks. Although we're looking at the second edition here, this is the one that started all. So when I say started all, if you're not aware, so from this collection you also have here tracking the world, and my personal favorite is tracking the history, and the art looks much better on this, but I always had under my eye this one, which from a collection perspective always had that itch to not being part of my collection. So I finally was able to get this one, still sealed. It's a new copy, and you can see from the artwork it's like one step back from the other games, and it's focused on the US territory, and the national parks are only the US national parks. I don't know if there are national parks in other countries, but at least in the US there's enough national parks to do a whole game. So let's see what is inside this game and how to play it, and how different or similar it is with the other tracking games. Okay, so this is an Underdog Games. It's recommended more than 10 years, 2 to 5 players. It's curious they put four meeples here, but it's 2 to 5, and it plays for 30 to 60 minutes. I play this with my kids, and they are much younger than that. Not this one, but the tracking history and tracking the world, which I believe are also complex games for their age. So I think you could play with younger kids this one. Okay. I was expecting this. The reason why I know this game is because of the other games that I've shown you. There's always a Underdog Games catalog. As you can see, the Tracking the World. There's a Tracking the World trivia, so it's like a trivial pursuit. Oh, there's also National Parks trivia. So there's a trivia game, like Trivial Pursuit, with questions about the national parks, about the world. Never seen this on sale, but let's see. Oh, it has a board here or something, so it's much more deeper than I thought. There's a box with the questions. You write down the answers, apparently, with some pens. So it's a mix of other things that you see in other games. Tracking the World, a classic, and the trivia version, looking very similar to the park version. Trying to make it out of it here. Let's move in. Oh, what's this? What is this? It's not a sticker. Is this useful in any way? Kind of a card. Coconuts game, not my kind of game. Tracking the national parks. We'll see this one here. And that's it. So at this time, the Underdog Games calendar was for a little bit short on games. And what else do we have here? So that's the manual. And I'll tell you how the game is played after, if you're not aware of it. So the components, this looks very, very simplistic. The quality of production is really different from the next games. It feels like the first attempt, like a trial. And then they increase the production levels on the other games, the follow-up games. There's a postcard here. Oh, no, another postcard. You can go to the website and get some goodies. And what is this? More national parks. The United States is home to 62 protected areas called the national parks. So it's like an index giving you some information about some of the national parks in the game. Let's see. Okay, so then we have the board, which I'll open after. These are the objectives. The second most will get these points here, and then the most in every type of stone. They call it stones here. Okay, so we have also the national. It's banded. Look how it comes. I think it's a plastic that is so strong that it's bending the cards this way. So these are the cards that you will from the parks that you will visit and try to have it for you. The objective of the game is, or the game ends when someone gets or visits 5 parks, 5 national parks. So these are the cards for that. On your turn, you'll be able to draw a track card, which is this card, to move your pawn around the map, claim a park card, or occupy a major park. So this is the reference sheet for each of the players. And you also have these powers that I'll explain later. And then there are 2 types of parks here. These are what they're called the major parks. Major parks here. They are recognized by this brown border, occupy a major park. So these parks you cannot claim. These are supposed to be like very important parks. And they have different backgrounds. And these you can only visit by deploying your tent. So you see you'll have tents with your color and you deploy here. It's Acadia in Maine, Denali in Alaska, the Everglades in Florida, Grand Canyon, the Hawaii volcanoes, and the Yellowstone. Very, very big names, very big names. And then the parks that could be claimed. Is it possible to shuffle this, Bandit? The American Samoa. It's nice that they have a picture here. You can picture yourself there. Okay. It's the picture is that the picture shows the Polar Island. Okay, and then you have a bit of flavor, not flavor, but a bit of what you were looking at. The Arches on Utah, the Badlands in South Dakota, the Big Bend, Carlsbad Caverns, the Channel Islands in California, Congaree, South Carolina, the Crater Lake, Cuyahoga Valley, the Death Valley, Dry Tortugas, Gates of the Arctic. So I was picturing the parks would also all of them be like Yellowstone, but there are different, very different landscapes. The Glacier in Montana, the Glacier Bay, the Grand Teton, the Wyoming, Great Sand Dunes, Great Smoky Mountains. There's really some smoke there. The Smoky Sunset. Haleakala in Hawaii with his name. It had to be the Hot Springs. Oh, Ozark. That's Ozark. Michigan. Joshua Tree from U2's album. Katmai in Alaska. Lassen Volcanic. The Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. Mesa Verde in Colorado. The Olympic. Putrefied Forest. Oh, I've heard of this. The wood is made into stone. Pinnacles. The Redwood. That's where the sequoias are? No. No. Rocky Mountain, Colorado. Saguaro. Lots of cactus. Shenandoah in Virginia. Theodore Roosevelt. There's the park called Theodore Roosevelt. Virgin Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. Voyageurs in the Minnesota. The Wind Cave. Wrangell St. Elias. Yosemite. And Zion in Utah. Curious. So these are the track cards. Basically, this is the resource that you will use to travel around. If I manage to open this. Very similar. So this gives immediately vibes of the other tracking games because it's probably 90% of the other game. 90%. So you have the red resource, which allow you to move these steps if you use it to move 4 maximum. Then you have the fires, the brown resource, the blue resource, the green resource, and there's the pink. Is it pink? Yeah, there's the only one. The only pink resource, the track cards. Okay, what else comes here inside? As mentioned, you have your meeple and then the tents to occupy the major parks. And these are the stones that represent the colors that you have here on the goals that you'll be picking around the map to get it. And they come out of this bag. That's a genuine. Is this a genuine leather or something similar? So they come out of this bag when you put them here, and then you deploy them when you are setting up the game. That's it. The insert looks very fragile. Very fragile. It's a crappy insert. But okay. So let's look at the board and learn a bit how the game works. This board is huge. I'm having difficulties here in placing the camera in a way that could capture all the setup, because you can see my hand and I don't even have the whole board there, because it's really, really huge. One of the biggest that I've seen. And you have the whole US territory, and there's a start place where all the players start. There's a bear here. This is just to mark the first player in order for when the end game is triggered, then you know who played first, and then everyone has a chance to play the same number. But I like this bear. It looks cool, right? So yeah, everyone in a 5-player game, everyone is gathered around here on the start position, and then basically on your turn, if you want to move around, you use these track cards. So for example, if I wanted to move 2, I would use this track card 2, and then if I'm the red player, I would just imagine go 1, 2, and I stop here in Mesa Verde, and I take the stone. If there is a stone, I take it from me for me, and I put it on my side. And that's why you have these objectives here, because in the end of the game, whoever gathers most of specific stones, they will get the points. And it seems like some of them are rarer than others, because, for example, the yellow stones, they're worth 7 points for some reason. Another thing regarding movement is that you cannot pass through a player. So imagine if this player was here and I was blue and I wanted to go to Mesa Verde by using these 2 movements card, I could not, because I could not pass this player, okay? But if he was here and I use a 2 movement card, I could go 1, 2, and if I go in the same spot where another player is, this player that was there is bumped back into the start. So this is something that didn't exist on the other games, but here it's important to walk around the country, so you can strategically bump into a player and send it back to start and delay whatever progression he was planning to do. We also see here on the map that there are some of the parks that are marked in red. So these are the major parks. So we can see Denali there in Alaska. We can see the Hawaiian volcanoes right here. And it's hidden here and below. The Grand Canyon is there. Okay, so if you visit those, what you can do is, by the way, in the beginning of the game, you just randomly take 3 of them, and these are the 3 that are going to be used in this game. The others, you box them, they don't come anymore, and so these parks will be available throughout the game. And when you visit those, you can pay the resources or buy in track cards that you see here, regardless of the number you have. It's what matters is being a green card, in this case 2 green cards, and then you can put, the proper name is, you can occupy the major park, and you occupy by putting a tent here. So it means that you occupy, and then you get these points in the end of the game, the points that are on the places that you occupy. So you should occupy all the 3 parks, because that means 15 points for sure in the end of the game, the 3 parks. Another advantage of claiming these major parks is that all of them will have here on the corner power that you'll be having once you have access to this park. So the powers are described in the manual, but also here on the reference sheet. So the 6 major parks, they have different powers. So Acadia will give you the power of use any of 2 tracking cards as a wild card. So if you're stuck in certain colors, you can replace them to use them for other colors. Very powerful. Denali will allow you to get 2 cards immediately from the deck. The Everglades will allow you to swap one of your stones with another player for you to get the majorities you need. The Grand Canyon allow you, when you move, you may move one space further. Very powerful. Then the Hawaii volcanoes, when you claim a park, you can move one distance, so it allows you to do an extra movement. And finally, the Yellowstone. The Yellowstone, when you claim a park, you draw one card from the top of the deck, so it gives you an extra resource every time you claim. So this is the new mechanic that I see from this game, these major parks, but the rest is the same. So you have this national parks deck where you, besides the 3 major parks in the beginning of the game in the setup, you also draw 3 from here, and these work the same way. You visit the place. So for example, the American Samoa on the Pacific would be, where's the American Samoa? It's here, the bottom here, see? You go there, you need to go there, and when you're there, the action is to spend two blues, 2 browns, and you claim this for you, and then represents 10 points at the end of the game. And then this is available for every player. You just take another one and you put that one next to the 3 that are the other 2 that are already available. And then the game ends when someone claims their 5th park, their 5th national park. Then the game ends and we count points. So please note that these parks, they don't count towards the 5 national parks. These are separate points that you can get from there. And these are the ones that will trigger the end game. Another way to trigger the end game is if all the stones are picked, then the end game also triggers as well. And then we count the points. So that's it. This was Tracking the National Parks, the board game. I hope you liked this video to the point that you consider hitting that like button and subscribing. I have this big playlist full of board games, as well as playlists for all the major card games out there. And if you like podcasts, let me warn you that I also have the podcast called The Table Talks, where I'm interviewing people to get to know their stories, their profiles, their projects, while we play board games online. So I definitely think that you'll find interesting content in the channel to consider subscribing and to be part of this community. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you and the bear in the next video. Goodbye.